Most gardeners are adding the wrong type of burn material to their soil and, honestly, slowly ruining their harvests without even realizing it. They hear that wood ash boosts growth, dump it into raised beds like compost, and then wonder why their tomatoes stop producing. Their beans turn pale, and their soil suddenly feels kind of lifeless by midsummer. Meanwhile, another material most people just throw away after grilling or burning brush can quietly transform soil structure for years if you use it correctly. Charcoal dust. And after testing both side by side across raised beds, container gardens, compost systems, and even bioactive hydroponic experiments, I can tell you this right now. Wood ash and charcoal dust are not interchangeable. One behaves more like a fast chemical adjustment. The other behaves like long-term soil infrastructure. Understanding the difference really does change how you build soil permanently. One thing that helped me stop making expensive soil mistakes was actually measuring what was happening underground instead of relying on guesswork. I started using the YAMRON 4-in-1 soil moisture meter because wood ash can shift soil pH much faster than people think, especially in raised beds and containers. I've seen healthy beds go alkaline in just weeks after heavy ash applications. This tool helped me catch those changes early before nutrient lockout showed up in the plants. It also exposed moisture problems I completely misread by eye alone. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out, because it solves a problem a lot of gardeners don't even realize they have. Now here's where this gets interesting. Most gardening advice, treats all burned organic material the same. That's completely wrong. Wood ash is mostly minerals. Charcoal dust is mostly carbon structure. Those are two very different things biologically. And the reason this matters is because healthy gardening isn't just about feeding plants, it's about controlling how nutrients move, how microbes survive, and how water behaves inside the soil. Let's start with wood ash, because this is where most gardeners accidentally create problems. Wood ash contains high levels of potassium and calcium carbonate. Depending on the wood source, it can also contain magnesium and trace minerals. Used carefully, it can absolutely improve growth. Root crops, onions, garlic, and fruiting vegetables often respond very well to moderate ash applications. But the internet turned wood ash into a dump-it-everywhere amendment, and that advice has wrecked a lot of gardens. Wood ash raises soil pH aggressively. In some soils, especially sandy beds or containers, it acts almost like powdered lime. That means nutrients can become chemically unavailable, even when they're physically present in the soil. I learned this the hard way in a pepper bed years ago. I cleaned out a fire pit at the end of winter and spread thick layers of ash around my peppers because everyone online called it free fertilizer. At first the plants looked fine, then growth slowed, leaves curled slightly, fruit production dropped, the soil surface hardened after watering. The plants weren't starving, the soil chemistry was broken. And here's the dangerous part, most gardeners misdiagnose that problem and add even more fertilizer, which just makes the imbalance worse. That's why I now treat wood ash like a concentrated amendment, not bulk organic matter. For most beds I stay around 1 cup per 20 square feet every month or 2 at most, and only when the soil actually needs it. That last part matters more than people realize. Blindly adding ash without checking pH is, well, gambling with your soil biology. And if you grow blueberries, potatoes, strawberries, or any acid-loving plants, heavy ash applications can absolutely sabotage growth long-term. Now, charcoal dust works completely differently, and honestly, this is the material I think more serious gardeners should pay attention to, because charcoal doesn't mainly feed plants directly. It feeds the system around the plants. That's the difference. Charcoal is full of microscopic pores that trap moisture, nutrients, oxygen, and microbial life. Once incorporated properly into soil, it becomes long-term habitat for bacteria and fungi. It stabilizes moisture swings. It improves aeration. It slows nutrient leaching during heavy rain. But here's another mistake most gardening channels never explain. Raw charcoal dust can temporarily rob nitrogen from the soil if you apply it fresh. That's why some gardeners tried biochar once and think it killed their plants. The problem wasn't the charcoal. The problem was applying it uncharged. Whenever I use charcoal dust, I charge it first for at least several days. Usually I soak it in compost tea, diluted fish emulsion, worm casting tea, or old manure slurry. Sometimes I mix it directly into active compost piles for 2 or 3 weeks before application. That changes everything. Instead of absorbing nutrients from your garden soil, the charcoal enters already loaded with biology and fertility. And, the effects become obvious surprisingly fast. In one tomato bed trial, the charcoal-treated side actually retained moisture noticeably longer during the summer heat. The soil stayed loose after watering instead of, crusting over. Worm activity increased dramatically under mulch. By late season, those plants needed less watering and showed fewer signs of heat stress compared to untreated beds. That's when it really clicked for me. Wood ash acts like a quick mineral adjustment. Charcoal acts like a long-term soil stabilizer. And if you stay until the end, because this next part matters, I'll explain why combining small amounts of both can outperform either one alone when done correctly. Now, container gardeners need to pay close attention here because containers react differently than in-ground beds. Wood ash becomes far more dangerous in pots. A single handful can drastically alter pH because the soil volume is limited. Honestly, I rarely use ash in containers unless I'm correcting a known deficiency. Even then, I apply tiny amounts mixed thoroughly into compost first. Charcoal dust, though, works extremely well in container mixes. Usually around 5 to 10% of total mix volume is enough. More than that, and moisture retention can become excessive depending on climate and watering habits. And hydroponic growers listening right now need to be careful too. Do not dump wood ash directly into hydrosystems unless you enjoy destroying nutrient balance overnight. The pH spikes alone can destabilize reservoirs quickly. Raw charcoal can also create issues unless specifically designed for filtration or biological support. But there's a smarter way to use charcoal in hydro systems. I've tested charged charcoal inside passive biological filtration setups connected to organic hydroponic systems, and root health improved noticeably over time. The key is understanding that charcoal supports microbial stability rather than directly feeding plants. And honestly, this connects to a bigger gardening problem most people ignore. Too many gardeners chase nutrients while neglecting soil biology. They obsess over NPK numbers while their soil becomes compacted, lifeless, and chemically unstable underneath. Then they wonder why yields decline every year despite adding more products. Healthy soil is not just nutrients, it's structure, oxygen, biology, moisture balance, and microbial relationships all working together. That's why I constantly monitor conditions instead of assuming the surface tells the whole story. Sometimes soil feels dry on top while remaining waterlogged underneath. Other times beds look moist while roots are drying deeper down. Again, that's where the YAMRON 4-in-1 soil moisture meter became surprisingly useful because it exposed problems I never would have caught visually. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. Now let's talk about combining charcoal dust and wood ash, because this is where experienced gardeners can really build resilient soil systems. The combination works beautifully when balanced properly. The ash supplies fast mineral availability, especially potassium and calcium. The charcoal stabilizes those nutrients while improving microbial habitat and water retention. But the ratio matters enormously. What consistently worked best for me was roughly 4 parts charged charcoal dust to 1 part sifted wood ash mixed into finished compost before application, not directly onto beds, into compost first. That buffering process prevents harsh pH spikes while distributing minerals much more evenly through the soil profile. I started using this blend heavily in corn, squash and pumpkin beds where nutrient demand stays high all season. By midsummer, the treated beds had noticeably darker foliage, better drought resistance and less soil crusting after irrigation. Even disease pressure seemed lower in certain areas because drainage and airflow improved naturally. But here's something important people need to hear. Neither charcoal nor wood ash will fix dead soil by themselves. If your watering habits are terrible, your soil is compacted, or your organic matter levels are collapsing, no amendment becomes magical. Serious gardening is about building systems, not chasing miracle ingredients. And honestly, that's what separates experienced growers from frustrated gardeners constantly buying new products every season. The best gardens become more fertile over time because the grower understands how soil actually functions biologically. That's the real goal. Not just feeding plants temporarily, building living soil that keeps improving year after year. So if you're deciding between charcoal dust and wood ash, here's the honest answer after years of testing both. Wood ash gives faster, visible results but becomes dangerous when overused. Charcoal dust works slower but builds long-term resilience, moisture stability, and microbial health. And when used intelligently together in balanced amounts, they can create some of the healthiest soil conditions you'll ever see in a backyard garden. If this helped you rethink what's happening underneath your plants, subscribe to Farmogic because this channel is about practical soil biology, real-world testing, and gardening methods that actually hold up season after season. And share this with another gardener who keeps dumping wood ash everywhere without realizing what it's doing underground.